Warning, there will be spoilers for The Mandalorian Season 3 and possibly beyond. If you haven't seen it and you don't want to be spoiled, proceed with caution. I don't hold back. In The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 3, or Chapter 19, if you prefer, titled The Convert, we get some scary stuff. The worst of it being mind control. I was telling myself in The Mandalorian Season 1 that Dr. Pershing may not be a bad guy. A good guy forced to do bad things while convincing himself he was doing it to help the citizens. Well, he knew it, and we all knew it was a lie. He was only there to further the agenda of good old Papa Palpatine. Now that the Empire is gone and Moff Gideon is arrested, escaped, mind-flayed. Yeah, I doubt that last bit is true. The former cloning scientist now finds himself in the open arms of the New Republic until he's betrayed. The former communications officer to Moff Gideon wants retribution for Pershing's betrayal. Let's face it, she's a mole. Get over it. Sent to weed out those who turned on Moff Gideon. Okay, did anyone else find the rehabilitation machine a bit of a conundrum? If it was built to give happy thoughts and to rehabilitate, then why is it even able to be turned up to 11?
These go to 11.
If they really want to fix former Imperials, then the highest setting should, at the very most, make the victim, patient, get sweaty and maybe feel like they just left a brothel. But maybe the machine is more devious than we are led to believe. Maybe, just maybe, it's meant for those deemed as minimal threats and those seen as downright nasty. Nasty. Maybe not the best choice of words, but you know what I'm getting at. Maybe the New Republic is just as menacing as the Empire, only the Empire did it out in the open and the New Republic has this whole propaganda campaign to make everyone believe they're the only good in the galaxy. It's just a thought. Anyways, Dr. Pershing gets the royal corncob treatment. You have to feel bad for the guy. But why the heck does he keep picking at his ear? Go get yourself a Q-tip, little buddy. It'll clear up. But there is so much more to The Mandalorian, Chapter 19, Season 2, Episode 3. This can be confusing. As fun as Dr. Pershing's stuff is, there's something bigger happening on the Mando front. In my last video, I made a theory that going into the living waters of Mandalore was more about Bo-Katan's redemption than it was Din Djarin's. Ew, how dare I? This show is about Din Djarin. At least that's what a few people said. Not you. You're cool. In the second half of this video, I have a question for you all, and I'd like to hear what you think on the subject of Sabine Wren, and I'll get more into that in a bit. But before I get into all that, a quick word from my sponsor, me. Yeah, I'm allowed to be the sponsor. I pay the bills. Get over it. Hit the subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up. I'm on a voyage to hit 50,000 subscribers, and I'd like you all to be a part of that journey. I know every YouTube channel asks for your subscription, and it probably gets a little boring, but I absolutely promise to deliver on my word. With me, you'll get the best Star Wars content YouTube has to offer, all original content. So let's make this channel far out together. Yeah, I know what that term means, but maybe I misused it. Oh well, who cares? With that said, let's get back to some Mandalorian stuff. In my last video, I said that Din Djarin sank quicker than a rock. He probably even sank quicker than a rock with more rocks tied to it. That he wasn't pulled down by the mythosaur. I got some heat for that. Oh well, I stuck to my thoughts on it. I also said that Bo-Katan was the only one to have seen the mythosaur. Again, the hate bots attacked.
Decepticons, attack.
And I'm not here to gloat. Oh wait, yeah I am. I'm allowed to be happy when I'm right, but I also acknowledge when I am wrong. But let me explain my thought process behind why I thought Din Djarin sank. When Mando dropped to the abyss below, there was no sign of being pulled under by an outside force. Just look at the size of the mythosaur. Even if it had grabbed Din Djarin by the tips of his toenail, something of the mythosaur would have surfaced. A wave, a horn, a scale, something. But there was nothing. No, it was symbolism. Yeah, symbolism. His rapid drop was due to his own insecurities. How about I just link the video in the description below instead of going through it all again? Well, in The Mandalorian Episode 3, Chapter 19, whatever, the covert, as Din Djarin awakens to his cute little frog egg-eating buddy laying some hands on him, Bo-Katan asks Din Djarin a series of questions. Did you see anything down there? I saw the chasm passing me as I fell. She then asks, did you see anything alive? He responds, alive? Like what? Okay, this is important, or maybe it isn't, but for the sake of argument, let's say it is important. Din Djarin was conscious long enough to see the chasm beneath the surface of the water as he fell. He watched it pass him. Had he been pulled under by the mythosaur, he would have seen it. He also would have surely felt it, unless the mythosaur is so stealthy that it can grab a person without being felt or seen. Yeah, doubt that. Look how big the thing is. Okay, I may be making a bigger deal out of this than need be. Fine, he sank. No harm, no foul. Then there's the Bo-Katan bit. You know, the bit where I said this was about her redemption. When Bo-Katan's castle is destroyed, which I didn't see coming, by the way, she is forced to follow Din Djarin to his covert. When they arrive, Paz Vizsla is kind of a dick about it, but he's just bitter because the Darksaber isn't hanging from his belt. Anyways, the armorer accepts Din Djarin's proof that he's been to the living waters of Mandalore and agrees that he is Mandalorian once again. But the important part is that so is Bo-Katan Kryze. And now she's accepted as a member of the Children of the Watch. All past sins have been forgiven. Her duty as leading the Mandalorians and becoming a failure, forgiven. Hopefully she can make some positive changes in this establishment. Now, maybe this is a coincidence, but in The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 2, Chapter 17, The Mines of Mandalore, we see Bo-Katan walking through the caverns with Din Djarin. She isn't wearing her helmet for a bit of that time. In fact, when she dives into the living waters to save Din Djarin, Bo-Katan has to put her helmet on. But when we see her at the beginning of Episode 3, she doesn't remove her helmet. Not even when she's sitting there waiting for Din Djarin to wake up. She doesn't take it off in her ship either. So I believe Bo-Katan knew that once she dove into the living waters, she knew she was absolved. It wasn't so much that she knew she wouldn't be able to remove her helmet again, or couldn't, because let's face it, becoming one of the Children of the Watch was probably the furthest thing from her mind. It just happened to work out that way. There's also the moment before Din Djarin woke up that Bo-Katan Kryze sat in contemplation, not contemplating the implications of going into the waters. She doesn't believe in the old religious ceremonies anyway. No, she was contemplating what she had just seen, what the implications would be of a mythosaur returning. Let's put it in real-world terms, shall we? If we were to discover a living dinosaur, it would change everything in terms of the way we view our own history. The same goes for big feet or giants. Yeah, I said big feet. It's plural. Can you imagine if the creature only had one big foot? He's actually cousin to the aptly named Big Elbow. Yep, sidetracked again. My bad. Anyways, this new mythosaur discovery has Bo-Katan Kryze questioning a lot about the Mandalorian history and culture. Okay, this episode was so good. The bit with Dr. Pershing probably could have been cut down a little, but it gave us some good world building and perspective into Coruscant and how the New Republic is trying to bring back, well, happiness, or else. It also gives us a good look at Dr. Pershing and what he's about. So I'm not complaining at all. Now for the Sabine Wren bit. In my last video, I named some Mandalorians and one who doesn't acknowledge being a Mandalorian yet, who may be in the running for the title of Mandalore, or the leader of the Mandalorians if you prefer. But there was one I left out intentionally, Sabine Wren. She's a very strong shoe-in for the leadership role. She has experience, she's a fine warrior, and she knows how to wield the darksaber. Not to mention, she has plenty of experience with Jedi. Not that it should be a factor, but with the galaxy changing and Jedi coming out of the woodwork, it seems Mandalore will have to be open to newer ideas. Not the ideas that the Armorer presents that the Jedi are enemies of the Mandalorians. But I would like all of you to let me know what you think of the possibility of Sabine Wren taking the helm. Could she be a good leader? A good Mandalore? I honestly would be okay with this. I do try to read all comments, and I respond to as many as my tight schedule will permit. But if there is something else in the Star Wars universe you'd like to talk about, let me know that in the comments as well. That's all I have for now. Stay tuned for my review of The Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 13. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to as soon as I get off work. Also, this Saturday, March 18th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the U.S., you can watch it anywhere in the world, really, I will be doing a special live stream celebrating the 25,000 subscriber mark, where I'll be announcing the winner of the giveaway and having a few shots of some fine Kentucky vintage. That stream may go off the rails, so set a reminder and enjoy the antics. And before you go, another quick word from our sponsor, me. Hit the subscribe button and give the video a like. I'm really trying to hit 50,000 subscribers, and I'd like you all to be a part of that next phase of this channel. The YouTube algorithm is more difficult than finding a mythosaur in a lake, but together we can conquer it. Thank you all for hanging out with me today. Until the next video, this is Gerald, a Star Wars fanatic, wishing you all great health, happiness, and peace. Thank you all for watching, and remember, this is the way, and positivity in the Star Wars community should be the only way.